What's going on, guys? It's Cameron from Westin Automotive. I'm here today to do another installation video with you guys, and today we're going to be doing the video on our EXP Truck Cap on this Ford Maverick behind me. So as you can see, we've got these two boxes right here beside me. Let's get into it. Let's open these up and see what's inside. All right, guys, now that we've gotten this bad boy open, you can see all the components that come inside your boxes. So in kit box number 1, you're going to find your installation manual. You're going to find your hex bolts and all your mounting hardware, your front window bolt kit, your rear window bolt kit, your lock and unlock keys, and your rubber caps. In kit box number 2, you're going to have all of your mounting clamps and applicable hardware for those. And in kit box number 3, you're going to have your water channels, your water channel mounting hardware, and the rubber strips. So the bags you're going to get, one is going to be your interior lighting harness, and the next is going to be your lock and unlock harness. All right, guys, so now let's go over the larger components that are going to come in these boxes. You are going to get your left and right side door, you're going to get your front and rear glass, and you're also going to go ahead and get your top in one piece. So now that we've gotten all the components laid out, let's go ahead and get assembly started. So to begin the installation, what you want to do is find a nice flat surface to work on. We have 2 foldable tables here, but you can pretty much use any kind of flat surface that'll hold the top part. So take the top portion of your truck cap and flip it top side down, and then we can go ahead and begin by taking our rear glass and sliding that into the top portion. So let's go ahead and get into it. All right, so with the rear glass slid in, there are pre-drilled holes in the top and the rear glass. You want to go ahead and line those holes up and then use your window bolt kit that's included with your hardware and go ahead and screw those in. I'm going to use a Phillips head screwdriver. You could use a screw gun if you'd like. Just to make sure you don't over tighten these down, you just want them nice and snug. All right, once we have the window screwed in, then we can go ahead and put on our rubber end caps. So these are just going to slide right into the channel as well. And then you're going to screw it in using the hardware it's included with your kit. Now, we don't want to go to town on these because this is going into aluminum. These just need to be barely snugged down. All right, so now that we've tackled the rear glass, we can now get at these side panels. So, key point for doing the side panels is you want to find a way to keep this rear glass propped up. You can use a box, a block, anything you've got to go ahead and keep it up, or if you have someone assisting you, just have them hold it, because as you are inserting these side panels into the sides of the top, they are going to have to come around this rear piece of glass. All right, so now that we've got the rear glass slid around the side panel bracket, we can go ahead and finish sliding it all the way onto the truck cap. You want to make sure that you get nice positive contact with this rear panel here once you slide it in. So now we'll go ahead and go over to the other side and repeat the exact same process. All right, guys, so as you can see, this is finally starting to look like an actual truck cap. We have our side panels installed, our rear glass installed, and now we can go ahead and get at our front glass. So these side panels do have a little bit of play in them to go ahead and help you with getting the front glass installed. What you want to do is take your front glass, slide it down in your channels, and then make sure that your corners are aligned, and then go ahead and use rubber mallet to go ahead and tap it all the way into place. All right, guys, so front glass installed, we can now move on to our side panel brackets. So these brackets are what's going to tie your side panels and your front glass together. As you can see in this bracket, there is a little bit of an indent, and that's going to follow the curvature from the side panel to the front glass. So it's going to get installed using a mixture of Allen hardware and hex head hardware. So on these, you want to take your bolt, lock washer next, and then your flat washer, and then get it installed. And the hex head bolts are going to go on the side panel side. And then your Allen bolts are going to go on your front glass side. So next step that we've got to accomplish is going to be our corner bolts. There's going to be 2 bolts per corner of the truck cap. And you want to go ahead and just take these and get them hand tightened in at each corner. And then go around and fully tighten each of them once you've got them in place. And just like the rest of the hardware, this is going to be bolt, lock washer, flat washer. All right, guys, so now that we have all 8 corner bolts installed, we can now work on our water channels. So our water channels are going to slide into this groove here at the rear glass, You just need to line up the grooves and slide it in. Now what you could do with this is, for this wire here, you need to hold this wire back to pass this bracket around it. You can loosen these bolts here if you need to make it easier to get it around that wire. So once you get that all slid down there into place, there are 2 pre-drilled holes in the water channel and the truck cap itself. You want to make sure that those holes line up so you can get those bolted in. All right, guys, as you can see, we're coming down to the finish line on our truck cap. We got our water channels installed on both sides and adjusted. Now what we can go ahead and do is take our truck cap, flip it right side up, and get the rubber corner caps installed. All right, so to begin the rubber cap process, what we want to do is start over here at the rear of the truck cap, and we're going to have these electrical connections on either side. We want to make sure that we get those connections made before we install the rubber cap. So just going to go male into female. It's a pretty simple process. Those just plug in like that. And like I said, you're going to repeat that on the other side because there are 2 electrical connections. Then we can go ahead and peel the backing on the double-sided tape on our rubber cap and go ahead and get it into place. Now, it is held in on the back side by a screw, so it's better to go ahead and open up your side door, get from the inside, put your screw in from the back, and then attach that to your rubber cap. All right, guys, so before we actually place the truck cap on the vehicle, there's a couple of things that we need to install first. One of them is going to be our rubber seal that gets installed on the bulkhead here, and the next is going to be our water drain seals, which go on the bed caps. So for the rubber seal, all we got to do is remove the backing from the double-sided tape. And go ahead and place it on here. Now there is going to be some excess, so you can go ahead and just trim that off with scissors once we get to the end. All right, guys, so now that we have those installed, now it's time to go ahead and get the truck cap on the vehicle. Now's the time, if you do have some help, to go ahead and grab them, because this does recommend to use up to 4 people, so go ahead and get that help if you have it. So once you have your truck cap installed on your vehicle, if you notice that there are a little bit of play in your doors, you can always go back and adjust your strikers to make sure that you get a perfect fit. And again, if you do have some help, that's going to go ahead and make these adjustments easier. All right, guys, so now that we have the truck cap on the bed, we have all of our doors adjusted where we need them. Now we can go ahead and start installing our bed clamps. So these clamps are what's going to hold the truck cap to the vehicle. So what you want to do is start with both of your rears and then work your way forward. And try and keep your clamps in as much of a line as possible as you do work your way forward. Okay, now we can go ahead and move on to getting our struts installed for our rear glass. This is going to be a very simple installation procedure. All we got to do is go ahead and take this nut off the end of this bolt here. Make sure the lock washer and a flat washer does come with it. Okay, and then go ahead and take your strut, install it into the hole in your striker bracket here. Install it with the flat washer first, then your lock washer, and then your nut. All right, guys, so now we're going to move on to the wiring aspect of our truck cap. So the first thing we're going to wire up is going to be our third brake light system. In order to accomplish that, we need to remove these 2 8mm bolts that are holding our tail light assembly in, get the tail light out, and then splice our wiring into the tail light and get all that replaced. Okay, so once we got the taillight assembly out, we can then go ahead and work on the wiring itself. So what you want to do is the wiring that's actually on your truck cap, remove your quick connectors from the end of those, so you just have your wires. And then you want to go ahead and place it through the hole that's right here in your truck and slide that wire through so you can have a nice clean connection here in the back. All right, so once we have the wire placed back in the quick connector, your yellow wire is going to get spliced into your black and yellow wire here. Clamp everything down until it's tight. That's what's going to get into your factory wire and connect it to your truck cap wire. So now once we get the red wire put back in our crimp connector, that's going to go ahead and get connected to our light gray, and violet wire. If you guys are having any issues understanding any parts of the video for the installation of the wiring, go ahead and refer back to your installation manual, because in there we have a full diagram on how to get the wiring completed. So once we have all of our connections made back here and everything's tight, go ahead and go in the vehicle and press on your brake light to confirm that the third brake light is working on your truck cap. If everything's functioning, then you can go ahead and plug back in your tail light and reinstall everything. So the last step that we need to complete is our central locking wiring harness. So what we need to do is make the connection here on the passenger side of the truck cap. Go ahead and plug that in like so. And then you want to run your harness along the top of your clamps back down to this grommet here in the passenger side of your bed. Once you get that run through there, run it to the back of the vehicle so we can go ahead and make our connection at the tailgate harness. All right, guys, so now that we've gotten underneath the vehicle, we can now go ahead and connect our central locking harness to our tailgate harness. So your red wire is going to get spliced onto your red and blue wire, which is right here. And then your black wire is going to get spliced onto your yellow and black wire. Now we can plug everything back in and make sure the connections work. So now that we've completed all of our tailgate wiring connections, we went back and we cleaned up all of our wiring. Now we can go ahead and confirm that the lock and unlock feature does work on our rear glass. So let's go ahead and lock the truck. And that locked our glass. Let's unlock. And that opened our glass. So it looks like everything's functioning just fine. So guys, that's all it takes to install our EXP Truck Cap on this Ford Maverick. If you're looking for any more information on this product or any other products, go ahead and go to westinautomotive.com and make sure to check out our YouTube channel where we go over a feature and benefits on this truck cap as well. My name's Cameron, guys, and I'll see you on the next one.